Terence Crawford did not leave room for interpretation when he decided to speak. There was no build-up, no drawn-out speculation, and no carefully worded hints designed to stir conversation without committing to anything real. From the moment he addressed the camera, his message was precise and deliberate. He had already chosen his next destination, already locked his focus on a single name, and already set a timeline. Zhanibek Alimkhanuly March. Nothing about possibilities or distant futures. This was a declaration, not a discussion, and in boxing, that distinction matters. When a fighter of Crawford's stature speaks with that level of certainty, the entire sport listens. The way Crawford delivered the announcement was just as important as the content itself. He looked directly into the lens, spoke without theatrics, and made it unmistakably clear that this was not promotional noise. There was no attempt to hedge his words or keep other doors open. His attention was fixed, his intention firm. He wanted Zhanibek, and he wanted him soon. That alone was enough to send a ripple through the boxing world because it signaled urgency. Crawford was not waiting for circumstances to align. He was actively shaping them. This choice was never random. Crawford did not arrive at Zhanibek's name by accident or convenience. He chose him because this fight fits perfectly into the story he is still writing. After conquering multiple weight classes and securing his place as an undisputed champion across divisions, many expected Crawford to slow down, to take safer routes, or to linger in familiar territory. Instead, he made it clear that momentum matters to him. He wants to keep building, to keep testing the boundaries of what is possible for a modern boxer. Dropping to 160 pounds to face an undefeated, active middleweight champion is not a lateral move. It is a step loaded with historical weight. Coming off a career-defining victory over Canelo Alvarez, Crawford could have justified almost any decision. A rematch would have been lucrative and safe in terms of legacy management. A long break would have been understandable. Yet Crawford chose neither. He chose risk, not recklessness, but calculated risk, aimed directly at greatness. Zhanibek represents a doorway into a new division, a new challenge, and a new opportunity to silence doubts that no longer have much ground to stand on, but still linger in corners of the sport. Crawford has never been interested in hollow accomplishments. He does not chase names for marketing value alone, and he has shown repeatedly that he prefers real tests over comfortable defenses. Zhanibek fits exactly the profile of the kind of opponent Crawford respects. He is a reigning champion, physically strong, technically sound, and capable of ending a fight with a single clean shot. Timing also played a crucial role in the decision. Zhanibek recently put his offering issues behind him, emerged with his titles intact, and returned to competition Crawford saw an opening and moved decisively, understanding that moments like this do not wait. For Crawford, this is not just another chapter. It is a continuation of a long-term plan to become one of the most complete fighters the sport has ever seen. Every move he makes now is measured against history, not rankings. Zhanibek, with his unbeaten record and championship status, offers legitimacy that cannot be questioned. Before Crawford ever spoke his name, Zhanibek Alimkhanuly was already a respected force in the middleweight division. 17 fights, 17 victories, 12 by knockout, and 2 world titles have built his reputation quietly but steadily. He has not relied on spectacle or controversy to gain attention. His work has been done in the ring, round by round, fight by fight. Recently, he closed the door on a difficult period involving a doping investigation that cast uncertainty over his immediate future. With that resolved, he stands free to defend his belts against anyone willing to face him. Zhanibek's style makes him a problem for anyone at 160 pounds. He is aggressive without being reckless, powerful without being sloppy, and confident without losing composure. He controls the center of the ring, pressures opponents into uncomfortable positions, and punishes hesitation. These qualities are precisely why Crawford's announcement carried such weight. It wasn't just that he named a champion, he named one of the most dangerous champions available. For Zhanibek, this moment arrives at exactly the right time. Despite his achievements, there has always been an undercurrent of skepticism surrounding his resume. He has dominated his opponents, but critics have argued that he has yet to face someone who truly tests his ceiling. Crawford's interest changes that narrative instantly. A fight with one of the most respected and accomplished boxers in the world would offer Zhanibek the opportunity he has been missing. It would allow him to prove that his belts and his record are not the result of circumstance, but of genuine elite ability. The story truly ignited when Crawford addressed Zhanibek directly. No intermediaries, no anonymous sources, no promotional leaks. Just a short, direct message stating his intention and his timeline. That clarity set the tone for everything that followed. Zhanibek's response was equally measured. He did not shy away, nor did he escalate with insults. Instead, he acknowledged the magnitude of the challenge and welcomed it. He stated plainly that this is the fight fans want to see, and that he is ready to show he is the best in his division. That exchange transformed a possibility into a conversation, and a conversation into a legitimate narrative. Fans took notice. Media outlets followed. Fighters and trainers began weighing in. What started as a single announcement quickly evolved into one of the most intriguing potential matchups of the year. The tension was no longer hypothetical. It was real, grounded in mutual intent. Analysts reacted swiftly, and their assessments added another layer to the intrigue. Several respected voices suggested that Zhanibek could be the most difficult opponent Crawford has faced in recent years. Some even argued that stylistically, he presents more danger than Canelo did. Not in terms of fame or accolades, but in terms of physical attributes, pressure, and fighting style. Zhanibek is not a boxer who wins on reputation. He wins by imposing himself, by forcing exchanges, and by breaking opponents down over time. The added complication of weight cannot be ignored. Dropping to 160 pounds introduces variables that Crawford has not recently had to navigate. Zhanibek is a natural middleweight, comfortable with the size, strength, and pace of the division. He does not rely on speed alone or clever angles to survive. He thrives in exchanges and maintains consistency throughout his fights. That stability is what many experts point to when they say Crawford would be taking a greater risk here than in previous bouts. Understanding why Zhanibek generates so much discussion requires a closer look at how he fights. He blends power with technique in a way that is increasingly rare in the middleweight division. His control of the ring allows him to dictate where and how engagements happen. He moves forward with intent, not rushing, not wasting energy, forcing his opponents to respond rather than initiate. His knockout ratio speaks for itself, but it is his precision that truly stands out. He lands clean shots without overcommitting, minimizing openings for counters. As a southpaw, he presents additional challenges. Fighters accustomed to orthodox opponents often struggle to adjust, especially against someone who understands distance and timing as well as Zhanibek does. His defense may not be flashy, but it is reliable. He knows when to disengage, when to hold position, and when to step into danger to deliver damage. Perhaps most importantly, he remains calm under pressure. He does not panic when a fight becomes difficult, and he does not abandon his game plan when tested. For Crawford, this creates a layered challenge. Footwork becomes essential to avoid being backed into exchanges that favor Zhanibek. Tactical awareness becomes critical, as careless moments could be punished decisively. At the same time, Zhanibek has never faced someone with Crawford's level of adaptability. Crawford's ability to adjust mid-fight to change rhythm, stance, and strategy introduces uncertainty that Zhanibek has yet to encounter. That unknown is what makes this matchup so compelling. Crawford's interest in this fight is part of a much larger ambition. After becoming undisputed in 3 weight classes, he is not content to simply defend his standing. He wants to expand it. Moving to 160 pounds is not about proving he can make the weight. It is about proving he can dominate in a division with its own history, challenges, and elite competitors. Becoming undisputed in a 4th weight class would place him in territory that very few fighters have ever reached. This move is not impulsive. Crawford has always been methodical, planning each step with an understanding of how it fits into the broader picture of his career. He knows that success in a new division only matters if it comes against the best available competition. Zhanibek, undefeated and holding multiple belts, offers exactly that. The middleweight division itself stands to benefit enormously. Once a centerpiece of boxing, it has lost some of its luster in recent years. A fight of this magnitude could restore attention and energy to the category. Other champions would be forced to respond. Sanctioning bodies would feel pressure to facilitate promoters would see opportunity. Fans would see clarity. A Crawford-Zhanibek fight would not exist in isolation. It would reshape the landscape around it. Despite his achievements, Zhanibek remains a divisive figure. Some view